Hey now, today I am going to take a stab at a Mocha sourdough. I've made coffee sourdoughs before, and if you haven't seen my video on that, you should check it out. It's super beautiful, roasty, delicious, makes excellent toast. What I'm going to do today though is try to capture that mocha flavor. So we're looking for that nice chocolate, the rich roastiness of the coffee, and as with my first step here, I like marshmallows in my mocha, so I'm going to try to be capturing that as well. The first thing I'm doing is, since I'm using, this is actually long pull espresso, I'm using that as my base as opposed to water, I'm going to actually try to deal with this here right away. The first step is to take this marshmallow fluff. This is going to be my marshmallow dose here, and I've got 20% based on baker's percentage marshmallow fluff. So for this one, because I'm doing a half kilogram of baker's flour, or sorry, bread flour, I'm using 100 grams of this marshmallow fluff. Now, I've never worked with this before in bread. This is a massive experiment. I hope it doesn't go sideways on me. We will find out here right away whether this was a smart play or not. For this espresso, I used filtered water, of course. Didn't want to use chlorinated water in that because that would just mess everything up. You could also use just your favorite coffee, whatever. I just don't actually happen to have any coffee grounds in the house right now, so I used espresso. Okay, so my thought here is using the espresso or coffee while it's still hot to help kind of dissolve this marshmallow fluff, because I was picturing trying to incorporate this into the dough when I'm having the flour and all that going on, and I pictured it being a nightmare. So I've got that in there with a spoon. I think I might wind up actually just using a fork now to try to mix it in just a little bit better. Oh yeah, see, it's kind of breaking down and melting a little bit. And then, of course, I'm going to let this cool down just a little bit so that we will be able to put it in for the autolyse here in a little bit. So I'm just going to keep playing around with this until it is all mixed up. And when we come back, it'll be time to actually start making the dough. All right, so I lied. I'm coming back and showing you what this is like now. It took me about a minute or so with the fork here just to work everything in. It's all completely dissolved, and it is looking super foamy and fluffy. I did give it a quick little taste, and it tastes like really, actually delightfully sweet coffee. I'm very much excited to see how this is going to work out in this bread. Okay, so I'm ready to actually make the dough here now. So I have 500 grams of bread flour I'm going to start off with here. And then this, of course, is my espresso and marshmallow fluff mixture. You can see it's definitely all incorporated. Still some foam on it, which is pretty fun. That's going to go in a second here. But I also have 15% hot chocolate powder. This is how I'm going to make it mocha-y, I think. We'll find out. So let's get this into here. And it is mixed time. Scale it away here. Just get this all mixed. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes getting this all incorporated, and we'll take a look at it. What it's like afterwards. All right, this incorporated super quickly, like 30 seconds. It was pretty much ready, but I still kind of mixed it for a couple of minutes. So this was a 75% hydration, or I guess we could call it a caffeination with the espresso. But either way, I'm going to let this autolyse here for probably a couple of hours, just until my leaven is ready. I'll get it all covered up. Okay, so my leaven is very ready. If you want to see how I made that, you can check out my video on how I like to make my leaven. And now this is our mocha sourdough after it's had a few hours to autolyse. So what I'm going to do is add 200 and probably 50-ish grams or so. Or sorry, 125-ish grams or so. I forgot, I'm just doing a single loaf here of this, and then I'm going to mix it all in. 120. Grab a little bit more of it there. All right, so now I'm going to pop it off. I'm going to take a few minutes and just really incorporate this well here. So about 3 minutes or so, and we will check it out then. All right, so we've had a few minutes here of mixing up. The leaven's all nicely incorporated. I'm going to give that a half an hour for it to do its thing before I go ahead and add the salt. So after 30 minutes, we are ready to add the salt. So I've got 1.8%. This is just fine sea salt. And I'm just going to sprinkle that in here. And again, just moistening my hands with some filtered water and mixing it in. Probably take about 3 minutes or so just to ensure that this is evenly distributed throughout as much as possible. And yeah, then I'm just going to cover it up and let it sit for another half an hour. All right, so time for the first stretch and fold. So I'm just going to take it here, stretch it. Woo! She is gooey. I have a feeling that there's going to be several stretches and folds and several coil folds here to help build some strength in this dough. All right, there we are. I'm going to check on that in 30 minutes. Okay, after half an hour, I'm going to do another stretch and fold. Just going to do this like so. It's a little bit firmer than it was before, which is good. After this, I'm going to cover it and give it another half hour, and then we will investigate possibly coil folds. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to, oh good, okay. I was just guessing that I would want to do a coil fold. Woo! And I am right. Okay, tuck that underneath. And a little bit more water here. This is a sticky dough. Okay, there we go. Coil fold done, and I'm going to do a few more of these probably every half hour. I'm not going to bore you by checking that out, but I'll get those done and I'll show you when we're done. All right, so this has taken a little bit longer than some of my other sourdoughs did just to kind of get ready. I wound up doing an additional coil fold with it and let it sit for almost an hour longer than I would. However, now it's nice and jiggly and looking like it is ready for some pre-shaping. So we're going to give that a whirl here. Just take this out. Pop her out of the bowl. And while we're up for some action here, actually, I'm gonna. Whew. It is sloppy. I have to get some more flour. Whew. Almost ready here. There we go. Okay. Beauty. Okay, I don't want to mess with it too much more here. I'm going to let it have a short, probably a 10-minute bench rest, and then it'll be time for final shaping. Alrighty, so after a short bench rest there, I am just going to do a final shaping of this bad boy. Man, such a sticky dough. Okay, there we go. She's biting. Nice and tight like that. And this one's going to go in a banneton with a liner, which I already have some rice flour in. I'm going to get a bunch of rice flour on the top of this here too, just so I don't run into issues with that tomorrow. And time to just pop her right in. So after it proofs in the fridge overnight, tomorrow morning we will bake. Okay, next morning, here we are. This bread's looking beautiful. It must have been on a slight lean there in the teaser. Anyway, I've got the oven preheated to 500 degrees, so I'm just going to give this a gentle flip onto the parchment. Whew, I was going to sprinkle with more flour, but obviously no need. Nice, simple scoring pattern across the top here. We'll get it in the oven, cover it up with the cast iron, and give it, this one probably half an hour or so. I'll take a peek at it here. Just going to get that nicely. All right, let her bake. All right, so it's been half an hour. So let's get rid of the covers here. All right, now one thing I'm going to do with this, because it's such a sugary sweet bread, I'm going to take it off of the cast iron, and the hope here is that's going to help minimize scorching on the bottom of that. So I'm just going to reduce the temp down to 440 and give it 25 or 30 minutes. All right, so we've given it half an hour. Let's pull out. Oh man, smelling chocolatey. Very nice. Okay, so this is looking like it is done. I'm just going to give it a couple hours to cool down here, and then it'll be sample time. Well, here we are after a couple of hours with the Mocha sourdough. A little bit of scorching on the bottom here. Might have to be a little bit more creative in the future just to see how that turns out. However, I'm very interested to see what the inside of this is like. Just slice into it. Very crispy on the outside. Oh man. Oh, it smells like chocolate and coffee, which, I mean, that's mocha, right? Let's just take a little slice here. Getting that roastiness, just a very much hot chocolate aroma coming off that. So that hot chocolate powder is certainly the way to go. Take a little nibble. Yeah, that's a mocha. And the marshmallow fluff, that's coming out here as well. Really nice and moist, kind of fluffy bread. That is beautiful. I don't think I'd honestly make any changes to it unless I want to get a little crazy, throwing some chocolate chips or something funky like that. But other than that, the flavor is awesome. So absolutely a winner. If you like this, feel free to subscribe. You can check out other videos as they come out. Yeah, until next time, keep it at 11.